Hey guys, welcome to the Final Whistle podcast where we cover all the game week fixtures in the Premier League. It is game week 29 and I can safely say this might be one of the worst game weeks for Liverpool Football Club, and they've not kicked a ball in general. Of course, you all know Liverpool have just lost the Carabao Cup. A massive congratulations to Newcastle United, who were the better team and deserved, to get rid of that lurgy of not winning any silverware. I'm joined by my usual co-host. He's back again. Ben, welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend. I don't even know where to start with the final, but like you say, I guess it's fair play to Newcastle. Obviously, they've had a lot of problems over the years, and I think they do deserve a trophy. So it just happens to be had to come against us.
It did indeed. And you know what? Whilst we're on the subject of Liverpool, let's address Liverpool and the Premier League in general and the games. So, of course, it's not been a great week for Liverpool. Crashed out of the Champions League in the manner that they did, the whole extra time thing as well. Today, of course, losing that final. Liverpool at the moment are 12 points clear of Arsenal, who, of course, won today. If there wasn't such a big points gap or a tally, would this be a reason for a big concern? Because I feel like this is now where we're kind of seeing some kind of fragilities and vulnerabilities. I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, well, it's about this time last year that it kind of come to a head as well, wasn't it? Obviously, because I think the League Cup final was a bit earlier last year. I think it was the end of February. Yeah, I think if the points tally wasn't so big ahead of Arsenal, I mean, it's 12 now, and we both played the same amount of games. Yeah, they just look so tired, and I tweeted about Gravenberch looking tired during the game. I got quite a few people saying, you're just sticking up for him, but it wasn't just him. I think everyone looks really leggy, and I thought we would have enough today, but I don't know. So I can't put my finger. They just didn't look up for it, and that's not like Liverpool at all. Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll be fine. We've got a big break now before the Everton game, and now it's just about getting the title wrapped up as soon as possible, really.
Yeah, I actually, the whole extra time and penalties against Paris Saint-Germain, I did have a feeling, and I spoke to like my family members about this, and I said, I think it's going to catch up on us. Not even the fatigue, it's the fact that you lost it. Do you know what I mean? Like the psychological impact that those kind of results have on you. Newcastle were by far the better team. I was so disappointed that at one point right towards the end of the first half, it was 0 XG by Liverpool. But anyway, enough about the Carabao Cup. This is the Premier League show. So let's talk about the game that we were all keeping a keen eye on. I think it all kind of started bad for Liverpool because this game kicked off before Liverpool's final. And of course, I am going to the big one. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. I want to get your thoughts on this one because this was such a poor quality game, in my opinion. When you think about these two teams, it felt like pulling teeth. I felt like this game lasted longer, and I keep saying this joke, and it's like proper mum joke, but I'm gonna keep saying it. This game lasted longer than my 14 hour fast.
Yeah, it was such a tough watch, wasn't it? Yeah. It was such a tough watch. Before all the games kicked off today, I was telling my brother, and I was saying it's such a good day for football. You had Celtic Rangers, which to be fair was a really good game, and then you had Arsenal Chelsea, and I've somehow managed to watch all the Arsenal game without turning off. But God, that was two poor teams. The only kind of entertaining thing was Chelsea's defence, and Sanchez in goal was making us laugh quite a bit. But yeah, it was so.
I had a bit of a wobbler in him as well.
But Cucurella nearly scored. Yeah, it was such a weird game. Two teams I think are lacking, and obviously you can really tell like Palmer and Jackson were missing, and the same with Saka, Jesus. It was just such a blunt game, really. And then obviously, not to go back to, but the final for us was horrible as well. I'm sure Newcastle fans would beg to differ.
Absolutely. And you know what? Whilst we're on the subject of Newcastle, because you have a lot to say on them, do you think Eddie Howe might have won over some of those Geordies?
I'd like to think so. I don't think you can do much more. Now it's a case of they've won a trophy, and there's no reason why they don't get that top 5 spot as well. So if he does that, then I'm sure he won't have as many doubters. Maybe he will. Maybe that's modern football for you. I don't know. But yeah, he's done a great job. He was amazing at Bournemouth, and I know people like to point out the takeover, but the job that he's done at Newcastle has been exceptional as well. So, yeah. But I say they deserve a trophy. It's just annoying that it came against us.
It does, and you kind of touched on like a great like Sunday of football fixtures, and of course Manchester United are away to Leicester City right now as we're recording, so we could cover that one. I'm assuming Man United will walk away with 3 points with that one because I think there's a bit of a theme here, isn't there? And I think all of the relegation teams that we all predicted this season are all lost. I mean, we saw that Southampton lose an important game to Wolves, which I think Wolves look really safe now, in my opinion, just how far they can crawl up. And we've got that going on. We saw Ipswich get absolutely hammered as well, which isn't great to see. You and I don't like that against Nottingham Forest, who we will talk about, because are they the more likely rivals of Arsenal? Because they seem to go in from strength to strength. I think there's like, again, how many points between them now? Is it about 4 points still?
Between Arsenal and Forest, I think, 4 now. It was 1 before today, wasn't it?
It's gone back to 4, hasn't it? So so we've got that one going on, and of course, I think Leicester will go. So let's talk about Nottingham Forest actually. So Nottingham Forest beating Ipswich. I want to ask you that question again. Do you think that could be like they could sneak in on that second spot? Do you think they've got the goods to do it?
I don't know what Forest's fixtures are like, to be fair. I know Arsenal have got a few tricky games coming up. I know I've got Everton away coming up, which will be tricky for them, with obviously missing a few attackers in the way Everton play. That'll be hard for them. And Fulham as well. Obviously, Fulham look good at the minute. I think they've got Fulham next, Arsenal. So maybe Forest can make up some ground.
Well, actually, they've got some tough games, Ben. Let me run some by you. So they're away to Brighton next.
7-0.
Then they're at home to Man United. We'll see how that one goes. Away to Villa. At home to Everton, away to Spurs, and then at home to Brentford. And Brentford are like on this mad run now where they're beating everyone away from home. So it's turning up. And then of course they've got Palace away and Leicester at home, and then West Ham away, and then the last game for them is at home to Chelsea. They've actually got some big teams to play there. So yeah, I think it's a good point to make. Yeah, I think that looks pretty much nailed on. Let's move on to Man City then. I mean, the top 5 is wide open, and Brighton are, I think, quietly climbing back up.
Yeah.
But that won't finish 2-2. I mean, what is your prediction for like the top 5 finishes, assuming an English team doesn't win the Europa League? Because again, that is really cruel on the team that finishes 5th.
Yeah. Well, top 5. I think obviously Liverpool top, Arsenal second. I think Forest also finished 3rd. And then it could be anyone from there, couldn't it, really? I mean, I thought Chelsea would make it, but I'm just not convinced on them at all. I'd probably go City, Newcastle at the minute.
You know who's really disappointed me in all this, Ben? It's got to be Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for them.
Yeah.
Of course, lost to Brentford, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. I didn't think they would lose to Brentford, like you said, Brentford away from home at the minute are on fire. Yeah, it's a shame. I think we all wanted to see Bournemouth get in, but yeah, I think they're just going to fall away, unfortunately.
They are going to fall away. And what are your thoughts on I don't know, like Spurs? It's just obviously they won in the Europa League, and it looked pretty good for them. Like they've turned the page, kind of, and then they lose 2-0 to Fulham today. Like it is such a chaotic, erratic, up down, can't gauge a kind of base with them. I think Fulham again have been a surprise package of the season. I think they look like a very improved side, but I think it's a very Spursy kind of result and performance. But take nothing away from Fulham, because you and I have actually been talking about them a fair bit this season.
Yeah, I've said it all season. I think they're kind of going under the radar because of the likes of just how good Bournemouth and Brighton have been. People kind of forget about Fulham. And we've got Fulham away still to come in a few weeks, so that'll be a tough game as well. So hopefully, I think we've got a couple home games on the bounce. It's Everton at home, and then I can't remember who it is after that. So hopefully we pick up a few points, and by that point in the season, I think we could win it a couple of weeks after Fulham. So that'll be a big game for us, regardless of the points tally. You still want to go and win all them games, but it'll be hard. Fulham away is always a tricky one for us. And yeah, they look good this season, and it makes me laugh how they have two very good strikers, and they just kind of swap between them, Jimenez and Muniz. Like Jimenez will score, and they'll still take him off in the 70-minute mark religiously. It's quite handy to have.
So you straight after international break, and can we all agree, Ben, this international break can't come quick enough. But then I'm also really anxious about what Liverpool side returns as well. There's always that now. So of course, the first game back for Liverpool is at home. It's the Merseyside derby. Then it is the game away to Fulham. Then we're at home. Yeah, then we're at home to West Ham.
Yeah.
And then we are away to Leicester City. Then we're at home to Spurs, away to Chelsea, then at home to Arsenal, away to Brighton, and the last game for Liverpool is at home to Crystal Palace. So those are Liverpool's fixtures right now.
I think the most I saw a TikTok statistician kind of do loads of simulate. I think the Tottenham games are most likely they will win the title. So hopefully we do it at Anfield. But like I say, we just got, as much as it's good that the international breaks here, I just kind of wish we could go again right now and put things right. And I'm sure after the international break, it's the FA Cup weekend straight after, isn't it? So
is it?
I'm sure it's the international break, and then the weekend after is FA Cup, which we won't be playing in.
Yes, and then the 2nd of April, we're back again. Yep.
Yeah, so that'll help us because we're always a bit rusty after an international break, especially with the South American lads getting back and then playing straight away. So that could play in our hands. So,
I mean, whilst we're on the subject of Liverpool, Ben, so obviously, I think a lot of people are growing very, very frustrated with the attackers in general. If Salah's not doing anything, nothing's happening. And of course, we saw Chiesa come on, probably look like the most bright, addition from the subs. Do you think maybe there's food for thought there for Slot? Maybe he needs to maybe upgrade him a little, maybe trust him a little more, maybe give him 20 minutes here and there in the Premier League, and maybe he should have done that in hindsight, given the fact that it might have helped him kind of nestle into the team and the squad a bit more better for integration, because I feel like we just look exhausted. I mean, the fact that I do little previews on TikTok about the games, and for Southampton, I was like, can we play Endor? This is the game where you start Endor.
Yeah.
This is the game
Klopp
Klopp
100% would have started Endo and probably started Elliott, and Chiesa would have, under Klopp, I'm sure Chiesa would have played more at this point, but I don't know, it's hard because obviously would we have the points gap that we have now if we were rotating the way Klopp did? Probably not. But
this is true.
In games like this, would we be as tired? Maybe not. I don't know. It's so hard. It's like a balancing act, but I don't know. I think the sooner we get it wrapped up, the sooner we start rotating some of these players and see what they're worth before going into summer. Because I feel like at the minute we're going into the summer and people have kind of decided, made the decisions on Harvey Elliott, and I just want to see him have a run of games, whether it's the last 3 games when the title might already be wrapped up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of in a position now where they haven't played that much. It's hard to give them minutes now because they're so far behind the others in terms of sharpness. But yeah, I would be giving Kia some more minutes, 100%.
And what do you think the Liverpool response will be after the international break? Do you think, I'm hoping that they come out angry and aggressive, that would be the ideal scenario where we've just been we've lost the final and we've been bumped out of Europe. Maybe kind of lick your wounds, come back, show physical and mental resilience. I think that's going to be absolutely crucial. I think just like you said, win it as quick as possible. So you are allowed that little downtime. Somebody here is agreeing. Yep, Graham Rogers. Chiesa look good. We agree with you 100% completely. What do you think about that, Ben? Do you think we're going to get an angry response from Slot's men?
It's the only response you kind of can give. Anything other than that, and I think that's a bit worrying, to be honest. If you're not angry and wanting to put things right after the week that we've had, then maybe Liverpool's not the club for you, because that's what we're all about: winning trophies, going far in Europe. And it's mental that we're in this position where we could end up just winning the Premier League and being a bit disappointed by it. But yeah, there's only one way we can respond, and if Everton's probably the perfect game to come back against as well, because that would add a little bit of edge. So
yeah,
if they're not hyped up for that, then yeah, I don't know what they could be hyped up for.
It's true. It's very true. It's very true. And you know what, Liverpool fans, of course, a majority is like Liverpool fans tuning into us. Just want to let you know that Klopp also lost his first final and things. Like I'm just trying to find like a positive edge on things, and I think something is happening behind the scenes. I'm having nightmares that we blow the league. Surely not. No, don't. No,
We're not
we're not going to let you go there, Graham. You can't do this. Yeah.
We're not getting into that tonight.
Yeah, not tonight. It's already been a horrible week of football for Liverpool fans. But Ben, just as a whole, your takeaways from this. I think we're really looking forward to international break. Do you think some of the teams that are probably watching Liverpool right now will be like sniffing blood as well? You got to see it from a different perspective as well. Like we've seen what teams have been doing to Man City all season. It's like, yes, finally we can beat you.
Yeah, there is that, and people forget that the teams that we play against have things to play for as well. I mean, obviously, I know kind of the relegation battle seems over and done with, but especially by the time we play them. But we've got Leicester left; they could be coming out battling. Like no game's easy in the Premier League, as poor as even the bottom three have been. I mean, God, we played away at Southampton with 2-1 down with 10 minutes left, if you remember, and we were 1-0 down at Anfield. So yeah, and no game's going to be easy, and that's why I just think we've got to come out swinging now. I mean, the break, you're never going to get a bigger break than this in the middle of the season, so there'll be no kind of excuses by the time the next game comes around.
But do you not think as well, like a break doesn't really serve Liverpool also well? They had that little break for, was it Paris Saint-Germain? And they were dreadful.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. I don't know what to make. Like, so they look tired. That's given. Like they had that game on Tuesday. Then they played this final. They look absolutely done. We can all agree on that. But then when they have this break, the FA Cup break, and everyone's flexing about it, and then they play like that against PSG. So it's like I don't know what's the sweet spot right now.
Yeah, I just think going back to what Graham said there about blowing the league is. Thankfully, we are in this position where we're so far ahead, and people say that's kind of like a cop out, but at the end of the day, we've earned to have that kind of gap. That's not by chance or by luck. We've earned the luxury of having that gap. So, win your home games, and we do it now. I'm pretty sure. So, the Anfield crowd, I know we say it all the time, and they've got to respond to it as well. Get behind them. We can't. Yes, have a couple of days to kind of dwell on this because it does hurt, and we wouldn't be fans if it didn't hurt. But then after that, we just got to get straight back on the horse and get behind them. And yeah, we'll be celebrating in May. That's the main thing.
We will, and I think if I can kind of jog my memory back to last season, you said like the Carabao Cup was a lot sooner than this, and you're right. I feel like this was roughly the same time where Liverpool lost to Man United in the FA Cup, and then it was the international break.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of like parallels and like that whole like, oh, we just need that international break, and then Liverpool came back, and you alluded to this as well, that Liverpool, this was where things started falling apart for Liverpool. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. Anyway, Ben, I don't want to depress you, but go on.
Just on that though, to be fair, I'm sure I might have even been Gags who tweeted it. We could have that exact same collapse that we had last season, and we would still win the league. So that kind of relaxes.
I love your positive energy, and of course, Gags being at the centre seed of it all. Of course, Gags tandem. Yeah.
I might not have even been, to be fair. I might have completely made it. I saw it, and I think it was Gags.
It sounds like a very much a Gags kind of thing to tweet or something. So yeah. Ben, I think we are at the end of this show. I don't think we want to talk much about football. I think we should get a lot of credit for braving coming on and talking about football. Like this is big, and of course, shout out to Jack McIndoe, who does the watch-alongs live, and I think they're doing a post-match show as well, and the guys on Raw as well on Anfield Index were doing all this content as well. It's not easy, and we were trying to avoid the Liverpool game, but naturally we just came to it because we're Liverpool fans. But Ben, I am going to let you go. It's great to have you back. I'm glad that I had you in this to kind of talk it through. Where can people find you on social media, and what can people expect you now that you're back off your international duty? You're back.
Yeah. I haven't been too active in the past week, but this week I've got loads planned. So if you just keep an eye out on Ben Pescott Journal on Twitter, or X, that's where all my work kind of goes, whether it's for Anfield Index or EPL Index. You can find it on there. I've got a few interviews this week, so quickly move on from today, hopefully, and have some positive stuff to read about.
Can't wait. Look forward to that. Absolutely look forward to that. Ben really does produce some great content. Give him a follow on social media. Do check out his work. For my part, I think I'm going to be really quiet, just lots of edits and all that good stuff. There's loads of great content coming on Anfield Index and, of course, EPL Index. But, guys, that is us done and dusted. A massive thank you to everyone that joined us. You're very brave as well. A shout out to you as well. And also, with your comments as well. Really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And we will catch you soon on happier occasions, hopefully.